Welcome to the Savage Nation. The American street is joyous. The American street is celebrating. The American street hasn't felt as good in many, many a decade. Now, some will ask, and I'm not one of them, where is Osama's death certificate? But we should take a collective deep breath and celebrate the U.S. Navy SEALs and tip our hat to the Obama administration for a job well done. He did something that Bush didn't do, that Bush wanted to do, that he said he would do. And we have to give him credit for that. And I'm very happy today, frankly, that the Hitler of our time is dead. This was a man who was the incarnation of pure evil. He killed Muslims, Christians, Jews, Hindus, atheists, agnostics, indiscriminately. He was a mass murderer, a psychopath who couched his madness in a religion. And we must give credit to the fighting men of the U.S. military, especially the Navy SEALs, that went in there and took this bastard out. But we must also give Obama his due. Remember, it was Obama who ordered this mission and made it a priority. Bush never made it a priority. In fact, just 6 months after 9/11, Bush said he didn't spend much time thinking about him anymore. Any Republican who attacks Obama now is a fool. Now, I have called Obama a Marxist on this program, and I stand by those words. But maybe it took a Marxist to take out an Islamic terrorist. This is a huge victory for the United States of America, and the American street is celebrating. It does change the political landscape dramatically. Much of the Republican leadership assumed they could ride the wave of the Tea Party and continue bullying the people and cruise into the White House in 2012. Their disarray was apparent even before this, but now they've been trumped by Obama. Now, there still are questions that must be answered. Why did they insist on disposing of his body by Islamic custom? Is burial at sea really allowed by Islamic tradition? What is the goal of American troops in Afghanistan now? Should we stay there? Will they finally release the picture of his dead body? But the key point is this. It is a day of triumph. Obama must be given his due, and America has achieved victory. No question about it. The American street is celebrating. The American street is joyous. And let me tell you something else. All the sleeper cells in America right now are scared. Don't sit there and be afraid of the boogeyman. They understand that this administration is hunting them down, looking for them. They know where they're hiding, and they're probably going to kill them next. Let me tell you something else. If they got Osama bin Laden, they're going to get the terrorists who are hiding amongst us in this country, and they know it. For a long while, we weren't sure where Obama was coming from. Whether he was truly loyal to America, etc. Now, we can ask 100 questions. The timing, for example. Why all of a sudden on a Sunday evening? He had the chance to knock him out before. We learned that he could have done it last March. Why all of a sudden now? I mean, you can come up with all sorts of ideas and theories as to why. I can't second-guess the military nor the political establishment as to why. You could argue, for example, that it was a double knockout. He knocked out Trump last week with the release of the long-form birth certificate, which, whether or not you accept it, is the end of the game for the doubters. No matter what you say, it's the end of the road for that road. It's just a dead end. Now on Sunday night after the White House Correspondents' Dinner, he comes up with knocking out Osama bin Laden on Sunday night. It's a very strange set of circumstances. Why? Now, I'm going to tell you something that I've been thinking about. I know it's off the wall, but it's the way my mind works. No one will agree with me. What was in the news from Friday through Sunday? What was in the news nonstop? What did the vermin in the media continue to cover? What were the idiots in the media continuing to yak about? The royal wedding. The royal wedding. The royal wedding. In fact, I had to take Friday off because I didn't want to even talk about these leeches as far as I'm concerned. Just leeches. I didn't want to talk about it. I was fed up with it. And so think about this. Who was not invited to the royal wedding? Who amongst the world leaders was not invited? Barack Hussein Obama. Barack Hussein Obama was not invited by the British. Apparently they were mad that he gave back the bust of Winston Churchill. And so they pulled a snit attack on him. They tried to get snotty with Obama, didn't they? And what did Obama do? He said, I'll tell you what, I'm going to knock the wedding off the headlines. Well, he could have done it Monday, he could have done it Tuesday, he could have done it last week. So it's an idea. I mean, it's not really that important, truthfully, but it's something to think about. Now, if you want to talk about the serious aspects of this death of Osama, we can do it. Nobody that I have spoken with says this is going to end the war on terror. The Israelis know that you have to keep going after them. It's a daily fight. It's a 24/7 fight. There are an awful lot of them, and it's a war of civilizations. No matter what the president has said, we may not be at war with Islam, but there's a significant faction of Islamic radicals who are at war with us. They want to drag us back 1,000 years. Make no mistake about it. Make no mistake about it. Now, as far as burying him at sea, I understand they didn't want to bury him on the land because then it would have become a shrine, and I understand that there were reasons to do so. But until we and the world sees the actual picture of his corpse with the 2 bullets that allegedly were shot into this arch-terrorist's head, there will be conspiracy theorists and theories that circulate, and I think it's imperative that the president release the picture. We can get into the politics of it. Will he now dangle us with this until the election and suddenly pull it out of his chest, out of his vest pocket around the time of the election? Who knows? There are other questions to raise that are clearly political on the Savage Nation, and who else but me should raise them? The answer is nobody. Does the death of bin Laden end the Republicans' chances in 2012? Huh? Do you actually fear a retribution attack from al-Qaeda? Is it time to pull out of Afghanistan? What needs to be done now to destroy the remnants of al-Qaeda? Should the White House immediately release the photo of OBL's corpse? Do you really believe he was buried at sea? Huh? And should Islamic law have been observed in dealing with Osama bin Laden's corpse? I'm asking these questions. The phone number is 1-800-449-8255. We can take some callers. Okay. Rashid in Houston, welcome. You're the first up. What's on your mind?
Hey, this is Rashid. Thanks for taking me. I want to give a comment on the burial. My father is Muslim and my mom is Christian, and I was raised as a Christian. And I think Obama being in the same kind of family background, I think he might just have a sensitivity, as I do, to the Islamic culture. I don't believe in what they do, and I don't believe all my dad does, but I just have a respect now because my father. I think Obama maybe in this case was sensitive to it as well because of his father's background and then having family.
Yeah, but wait, we're going too much into his background and Islam. The man was an arch-terrorist who's been hunting down Americans for 20 years. What does that have to do with Islam?
Well, I think...
Why should we respect his religious beliefs?
Well,
I mean, there are some who argued he should have been chopped up and fed to pigs in the videotape released to the world. Well, what is this sensitivity to his religious beliefs? I don't understand it, personally. Let me ask you something. In World War II, after Hitler was killed in his bunker, or killed himself, rather, should he have been given a Christian burial by the Russians?
Well, I don't have an opinion on that right now, but I do think that...
Why do we owe a man who has caused such hatred and damage and death and destruction any kind of respect is what I'm asking.
Well,
why? I mean, where is it written that when you kill him, you're supposed to respect his customs? Did he respect our civilization and our customs? No.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Did he respect any of the Christian customs? No. He killed children, men, women. He killed Hindus. He killed other Muslims. Why? See, I personally don't believe that his Islamic faith had anything to do with his madness. I think the man was a serial murderer, a mass murderer, and I think he couched his insanity in Islam. I mean, if you want to look at it from the point of view of religion, the religion had nothing to do with his hatred. He was a mass murderer who couched his insanity inside of Islam. If anything, he shouldn't even be associated with Islam. That's one man's opinion. I'll be right back.
Savage.
Now, I believe the government has to release the videotape of the a corpse and of the burial at sea. It has to be released. Because conspiracy theories will abound, no matter what they do, by the way. There are individuals who are still insisting that the 9/11 attacks were done by George Bush. I mean, it's crazy, okay? So no matter what they do, people are going to say, well, they adjusted the tape and blah, blah, blah. I think they need to do it. no matter what they do, it's not going to end with the tapes, because people are going to continue to spin their tales of his survival or his trickery and that he's still alive. You know, there are people to this day who say Hitler was alive for 40 years rather after 1945. Don't you remember that went on? Hitler was really alive, living in Argentina, running a Hofbrau. Hitler was really alive, and he had become a tailor in New York. I mean, come on, it went on for 40 years. So don't think it's going to end no matter what the government does. Nevertheless, it would put most sane people's questions to rest. I mean, I was quite thrilled to hear he was dead, but skeptical. I'm a born skeptic. I don't trust this government any more than I trust any government, and I certainly don't trust the U.S. media, which I think is the worst on the planet. So the first instinct was, great, I'm glad they killed him. I feel better tonight. I felt great. It was a great night for America. Frankly, I was proud of the president. I thought he gave a brilliant speech. I thought it was the best speech he's ever given, which we're going to play for you today. I thought he did a superb job in the speech. I was thrilled to hear it. I mean, I put aside all my political biases, and I listened, and I felt great. I said, because they killed the head of the snake. Okay, you know, the old adage, you kill the head of the snake, where's the snake going to go? It's going to grow another head? It's not going to grow another head. And all of the mini-terrorists, the mini-me's running around, sure, they're going to try and set off bombs and whatnot and do random acts of violence. They will do it around the world, but they're not going to do it in a coordinated fashion. They're never going to bring down another tower. They're never going to bring down another plane, so far as I can tell. It's highly unlikely they're going to bring down another building. They're under scrutiny right now, and they're running scared. Let me tell you something. They're running scared. They know they're next. If they get Osama bin Laden, they get any one of them. And all of that BS we've been hearing coming out of their lousy, filthy mouths is going to come to an end. Okay, I'll tell you who else is on their list. You know, Zawahiri's number 2. You think he's suddenly going to be emboldened? I don't think so. How about an American, whatever his name is, the one from Los Angeles with that big next, all those hate messages they've been sending. So they're all running scared. They're not sitting here, you know, basically disrespecting America and the American military so much anymore. But it's not going to put an end to the theories, and not everyone believes bin Laden is really dead. There's going to always be disbelievers. Pakistan already is saying he's not dead, that they made it up. The Pakistanis are saying, no, it didn't really happen. And the DNA match, people already saying it was planted. Here's one already, Selma in New York on WR. Selma, go ahead, please. You say it's not true.
Hello, Mike. The bottom line is that diminishing of our president's viability for candidacy as the president, again, has been diminished. And I believe because he ran as a president of peace, and instead he aggrandized the war in Afghanistan.
Wait, back up for a minute. Let's start with at the top of this. You don't believe Osama bin Laden is dead?
No, absolutely not. I believe that there was, how would you say, somehow they made some sort of a deal, and this is the deal I suggest happened. Because our...
Wait, I don't want to hear what you think happened. Please, I don't want to go down this road again. I can't take it. Can't you understand that sometimes your worst political opponent does something right? Are you there?
I'm here, Mike. I'm here, but you don't.
So you can't believe that, although you despise Obama's social policies, you can't believe he did the right thing here?
No, I don't believe, simply because I believe, your genetic makeup can be harvested and planted anywhere. They eliminated the body overnight. As a Jewish person, I know that we do that.
All right, thanks for I can't take it. I don't care what kind of person you are. I'm sorry you even added that, frankly. I mean, as a lunatic person, you should have added. Maybe as a witch, practicing witchcraft in your kitchen and your kachalain. I can't take it anymore. Can't you celebrate anything that the man does? Anything? Everything he does is a conspiracy and wrong.